we are going to talk about a phenomenal love of a mother. A mother who had all the hopes of having a daughter, a beautiful child. And then after delivery, anyway, I won't take it from her. She's going to share her own story and also tell you about the book she's written on her experience as a mother with a child with a disability, a physical challenge. Motherhood is beautiful, but it can be so daunting. Anyway, welcome to the Standpoint 2022. We're still cruising. We're still having beautiful and amazing programs. And remember, our theme for this year, 2022, is broken but beautiful. Broken but beautiful. This woman was broken, but she is so beautiful. Thank you to GTP for my cloth. This is Adepa. Not Adepa Dumas, but Adepa. Thank you so much. And my dress is by Leran Collections. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Makeup by Makeup and More. Yes, she's back. Makeup and More. Thank you so much. And what else? The rest is all me. We'll be back. And welcome back to the Standpoint. And yes, today we'll be talking about the story of a mother who was broken, but is now very, very beautiful. I mean, the book that she's written, this is the book. This is it. That's The Unconventional Mother, How I Nurtured My Daughter with Disability into a Global Leader, Lydia Bedway. Yes, by the end of the program, you'll be running to get copy to read. Well, let me say thank you to Esteron Balloons and Accessories for sponsoring the Standpoint. We are also grateful to Standing Florals and Decor for all the artificial and natural plants. Thank you to Casa Preco, Puma Drinks, and Awake Purified Mineral Water, House of Food, Kodam's Gift and Stationery, Yep Cleaning Services, Juice Time, Go-Got Yogurt, Cake Technique, everybody who supported us throughout the year 2021 to 2022. We know you're going to be there for us, and we are so, so grateful to every one of them. But my guest on the set today is Madam Helen Lydia Bedway. She is a mother, first of all, and an author. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
And I must say thank you to Farida, who is also Afrakoma, and just like my daughter, for convincing you to come. For convincing you to come.
Yes.
It's an honor to host you.
Yes.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine, despite the COVID thing.
Yeah.
God has been gracious.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
yeah.
Amen to that. What were your dreams or your idea of motherhood before you became a mother?
Yeah, I wanted to have daughters.
Okay.
I wanted daughters. Somehow I didn't want a boy.
Why?
No, because growing up, my mother always said that she didn't want a boy. Because when she was having children, the boys in the area were always throwing stones at their parents. So she didn't want a boy who would come and throw stones at her. But my father wanted. So there were 6 girls, and I'm the 6th girl before the 2 boys came.
Oh, okay.
So my plan for motherhood, and because there were so many of us,
Yes.
I didn't want too many children.
Okay.
I want to be able to, everybody to get attention.
Right.
So my plan was to have 3 children.
Okay.
Yeah.
All girls.
I wanted girls.
That's right. And how were you going to, live with them? How did you picture your children?
I pictured my children being, as a child, I always wanted to explain things. I didn't want to be told, children, because you are a child, you shouldn't explain. Whatever I said, you accepted. And my father refused that.
So you were an unconventional child yourself. Because before you became unconventional mother.
I guess so. So in my mind, I felt like I decided that my children will be heard,
Okay.
no matter what. They have to. I mean, I'll discuss everything with them, and that's how. That was my plan for motherhood,
Okay.
and I followed that plan.
Okay. And you grew up in Ghana?
Oh yeah, I went to Akwe school. I went to Wegehe. I mean,
You're a gay girl.
I'm a gay girl.
Oh, okay. So at what point did you move outside to live outside Ghana?
When I finished A levels, my sister was in Germany, and I think she was having some problems. So as soon as I finished in July, my father sent me there.
Okay.
And then we were in Germany, born, and then we were in Geneva, and we came back. And then I got a French scholarship and went to Grenoble to go and do translators.
Okay. So what did you study yourself?
Interpreter.
Okay.
Translator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
how many languages do you speak?
Oh, French and German.
French and German, okay.
And of course English.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien, merci.
Don't say anything again. Let's stop there. And then with the German, I can only say...
Wie geht's?
No, that one, the thank you one. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Bitte schön.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were your parents do? What was their
my
occupation?
mother was a Mokola woman selling in Mokola, and my father was always a headmaster from Accra Royal to Eburi to Gomuatakwa back to Accra, and I mean, yeah.
Did you ever sell at the market with your mother?
Oh yes, I did. I mean, I tell you, I'm a Mokola girl. When I was in primary school in Kanish Methodist, I used to walk from Kanishi through Fadama to UTC and then to Mokola.
Okay.
Because I needed the money for the school bus to buy ice cream, Walls ice cream at UTC. So I walk all the way. And that was 19. I was between 9 years and 10 years old.
Wow.
So I was very close to my mother. And when I go home and she's not there, the house is empty. So instead of going home from school, I'd rather go to Mokola and wait with her, help her. And she used to send me to the shops. I knew all the shops where she bought her things. I'm a pure Mokola girl, Mokola #1.
So you were groomed to be tough?
Oh, yes. I was groomed to be involved in everything and not feel like I can't do this, or this is beneath me, or that is, I did everything. We used to sell, Christmas time, we used to sell biscuits at post office. I don't know whether you remember Accra
post office. Yes.
We put our biscuits there and sell and whatever.
You and your sisters?
Yeah, me and my sisters. And even before then, going to Kanish Methodist, Mrs. Savage was near us and she baked bread.
Okay.
So when the smell wafted into the house, then you rush and go and buy 5 CDs worth and go and sell it and get 25 pesos commission before going to school.
Hey, Mom, you're a business girl.
Well, it was what needed to be done. There were so many of us. I mean, there were a lot of us girls.
Yeah.
And,
but I guess education was important in that
yes,
home.
my father being a headmaster and everything, education was #1. Look, when the 7 o'clock plane, those days we didn't know a plane will be late or not late.
Late, okay.
So when you hear the 7 o'clock plane coming and you haven't taken your bath, my father stands there with the cane waiting to give you 6 lashes before you listen. So you always have to get to school very early. So by 7, I'm in school, standing by the big tree, under the tree, because I didn't want to be beaten.
You just go to school. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Very unconventional. I'm talking to Madam Helen Lydia Badue. She is the author of The Unconventional Mother. And from her story background, you can tell that she's been unconventional from childhood. But we'll take a break. When we come back and find out whether her upbringing, her youthful days, her unconventional lifestyle, not sitting down to plan marriage or anything, prepared her for what was to come when it got to parenting and motherhood. We had to get to the exciting part before we get to the tough part. You're watching The Standpoint. Thank you so much to GTP for my cloth. This is Adapa. And thank you to Leran Collections for sewing this dress for me. My wig is by Inshilo GH. Makeup by Makeup and More. She's on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Follow her. And makeup product always by Note Cosmetics. patronize their product, all the vendors, so they can get some money to support us, so we can keep the standpoint on air as well. We'll be back. Well, welcome back. And yes, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Thank you so much for staying tuned to this particular program. Again, say thank you to Esteron Balloons and Accessories for sponsoring the standpoint. And of course, GTP, still timeless. Since you're unconventional, how would you want me to call you? I kept saying, Mommy, Mommy. Are you okay with it? Or I should call you Ruthie? You're okay with it? Okay, good. Awesome. So you've had life, fall into places. Of course, maybe unconventional, but there are things that you were deliberate about it. There were things that you kind of thought through it before you took the decisions or you did. Right? Like motherhood. You were deliberate that you didn't want, many children.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You decided you wanted daughters and everything. How old was Aisha before you got pregnant again?
When I had her in April, Aisha was 2 years,
Okay.
2 months.
How was that pregnancy like?
Her pregnancy.
Yeah, and it was
It was okay. It was going on well until the 6th month of pregnancy. I started feeling panicky. And during the course of that month, I felt like
Was that pregnancy planned or it just happened? Like me, I'm an accidental baby. My siblings always tell me that I wasn't planned for. I just came.
It wasn't planned. It wasn't planned.
But like everything, you went with the flow.
I went with the flow. It wasn't planned. I discovered I was pregnant. And the thing is, I knew I would have another child.
Yeah.
So having Aisha and discovering that my husband and I were resource incompatible, which I didn't know anything about.
Can you explain what does that mean? If you don't mind, if
no,
it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. Everybody needs to know. I'm O negative.
Okay.
And my husband...
That's rare.
Yeah, universal donor. Yeah, I'm O negative. And he was A positive. And the positive and the negative are incompatible. Okay. So having Aisha, if I had known, I would have maybe asked the doctor or bothered the doctor about it. No. But apparently, because of the incompatibility, as soon as the baby comes out, the first baby, you need to be injected with something.
Yes.
Yeah, but I wasn't. Okay. So I had Aisha on the 7th, and I used to subscribe to all kinds of magazines. So on the 8th,
you were living outside Ghana then?
We were in Lagos.
You were in Lagos, okay.
Yeah. So my magazine came, and they brought it to the hospital. And the first page I opened was about racist incompatibility. So I read it, and I realized that I should have been injected, and I wasn't and all. And when my obs and gynae doctor came, I asked him, and he said, oh, he forgot. Yeah. Forgot. And what I had read meant if I have a second child, the second child will be in trouble because my blood has been infected with something which shouldn't be there. So I discussed it with him, and he said, oh, it's not a big problem that as soon as the baby comes out, we'll have blood transfusion. So, okay, I had to find people who are O negative like me, and I was able to find one who was ready. Okay. That even when the time comes, he will give me the blood. Right. So I settled down. I settled down to it. And so when the second pregnancy came, I didn't bother. I just reminded the man that the blood. Yeah. But who will foresee anything? Yeah. I didn't know that she will come with her intestine blocked. Okay. So when she was born, and the first day.
And the doctors didn't see anything?
No.
During the pregnancy, they didn't see?
They didn't see anything. I was just from the 6th to the 9th month, and it was like I was always afraid. I was always holding on to Aisha because I felt like I would die with this pregnancy. I mean, that's the way I felt. So even when she came out in the labor ward, you know, labor ward, and, oh, madam, you have a baby girl, I just went like this. Oh, God, I'm alive, I'm alive. So the midwife was like, what's wrong with you? I said, you have a baby girl and you are busy
Touching yourself.
and exclaiming, you are alive, you are alive. So I thought, well, okay, maybe what I was feeling. But this baby was lying by me, lying there looking at me, covered with hair, a lot of hair, very pretty. And she was smiling all the time. She didn't cry or anything for food, for nothing. So I just kept on giving her water. And every time I carried her, the bed was wet with the water. So when my pediatrician came, I said, there's something wrong with this baby. And he said, oh, no, there's nothing. He looked at her, she smiled and everything. And then afterwards, the following, in the evening, he came back. And I said, Nka, there's something wrong with this baby. And he said, oh, I worry so much. Okay, he will let them wash her stomach. So after he washed the stomach, in the following day, which was the Saturday, and the stomach was washed, I still give her, it's the same thing. And I told the hospital where I had her, I told them that I wanted to be discharged. So Sunday morning, early morning, around 9 o'clock, they discharged me. And I left that hospital. When my husband came with Aisha to take me home, I said I wasn't going home. So we went to the teaching hospital where my pediatrician
Also in Lagos?
Yeah, Lagos University Teaching Hospital.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday, and I went to his house. Luckily, he was there. And I said, I've brought her. And he said, okay, he was going to look, take her to find out. He's thinking of something. But so we went, he and I, we left Farida'S and Aisha in his home. And we went, and he took her into the x-ray, those days x-ray. And then he came out and he said, he had a nickname for me, calling me landlady. He said, landlady, what I suspected is what has happened. That her intestine is blocked and she can't live for more than 8 days. So
when he said that, what did you say?
I just grabbed her. I didn't say anything, but he followed it with, there's a doctor who has come from Canada, a pediatric surgeon, that he's going to look for him. So he left her with me, and this was in the hospital. There's no, I mean, we were outside. So there's a gutter there and the pavement. So I carried her and sat on the pavement. And he went for some time. And he came back. He found him in church. And he said he has agreed to come. So he's left church, he's going to the... So there and then now, they came and took her. And it's a Sunday morning. It wasn't a normal working day as such. So they came and took her. But sitting there, whilst waiting, this girl was just looking at me and smiling, looking at me and smiling. So I don't know why, but I said, God, don't take her away. No matter how she comes out, now look after her. I remember saying that clearly, but I don't even know where it came from. Anyway. So they took her. Imagine having had a baby 2 days. Your stomach hasn't even, nothing. You haven't recovered from anything. Right. Yeah. And they took her into the place. And because it wasn't a working day, I have doctor friends. So my gynecologist, my pediatrician, and my physician, they went into the theater with him. And after 6 hours, he came out. The surgeon, I hadn't met him. So he came and he said, who is the mother of the baby? Who is it? I said, me. And then he says, we have finished. And I said, how is she? And he said, oh, they won't know that an intestine of a 2-day-old baby is smaller than the intestines I've ever seen of a sheep or a goat or whatever. And they had to cut off the blocked part and stitch it. So I have to wait for 10 days to find out whether air bubbles have gone through the intestine. Then they will know it will be successful. Meanwhile, the other problem, incompatibility, is there. So I'll go to the hospital and stand, like I'll stand here, and she will be in the incubator there. the glass separating us, and I'll just be looking. And I'll beg sister to touch her skin to see whether it's yellow or whatever.
Yeah.
And the skin was going yellow. It means the brain damage or whatever, the damage was taking place. But they were also concentrating on the bubble passing through the intestine. So in the end, getting to after about 4 days, when I kept on saying that the thing was going, the liver was this thing, they put phototherapy on the light over there. Phototherapy over there. But apparently it didn't do
right.
It didn't do much. The damage had been done already. Yeah. So that's the beginning
of the beginning of the journey. And that little girl who went through all that and stayed in the hospital for months and was initially given 8 days to live is now a global leader.
Yeah.
Being on the biggest international platform you can ever think of.
Yes.
Being the mouthpiece of a lot for women, for young people with cerebral palsy, for people with disability, and her voice is heard.
Amen.
Whenever she raises her voice, it is heard. I'll take another break. When we come back, we'll look at coming to Ghana, how old she was, some of the challenges she went through. Because you know what? We are not going to tell you the whole story. You will have to get this book. Because 10 programs will not give you the full story in this book. We'll tell you at the end of the day where you can get this book. This book is not just a story of an unconventional mother and a little girl who was not meant to live but has become a global leader, but it's about being an unconventional mother, a mother understanding your challenges, whether you have a child with disability or medical challenge or not. How to be a mother who will go through, actually a phenomenal mother. Well, let me say thank you to our supporters, Go-Got Yogurt, Awake Purified Mineral Water, and Puma Drinks by Casa Preco Company Limited. Thank you to House of Food, Cake Technique, and everybody who has supported us throughout the year to this new year. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Remember, this program is aired on Joy Prime, 6:30 p.m. every Sunday, repeated on Thursdays at 11 p.m. We also stream on our Facebook page. That's on Sundays at 8 p.m. and on YouTube as well. Mommy, so at what point, how old was Farida Nanefua when you came to Ghana? You came back to Ghana?
She was 9 years old.
9 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how was the before then? Were you coming in and out, or
No,
it was
when she was 18 months, we went to Belgrade. My sister was there, and I wanted to find out what other treatments or something. So I went to my sister and did a lot of consultation there, and it was during that period. During that period, she couldn't really speak. She didn't have language as such. So I was doing speech therapy there. Okay. And I was seeing the doctors to find out what, because I mean, all the milestones were not there. Yeah. So
I believe because of the challenges, you had to pay a lot of attention to her and focus on. Did you at any point feel like you were neglecting Aisha?
No.
And focusing too much on Farida?
No, I didn't. I didn't because Aisha was involved in.
Okay.
I just didn't exclude Aisha in anything.
No wonder they are so close.
I didn't exclude Aisha in anything. We went everywhere together. We did everything together. Aisha goes to school. During the time she's in school, I spend all the time with Farida. When Aisha comes, I spend time with Aisha, her homework and other things and all. And then we are all together. Okay. That was my routine.
How did your husband take it?
He didn't know what to do. You know, it's not that I didn't really think that he has neglected or whatever, you know. It's just that he didn't know what to do. Not that I knew what to do, but I was busy reading pediatric books and finding out a lot about it and talking to the doctors and all, you know.
Yeah.
So I was spending more time researching. And he just accepted everything I said.
Right.
That we have to do this, okay. We have to do that, okay. Yeah.
Okay. But why did you decide to come back to Ghana? I mean, because those years.
No, coming back to Ghana in 1988 meant I've been outside for 20 years, okay. And we were living, when she was born, after she was born, she was 2 years old. My husband got a job in the West Indies. So we were in Dominica for a period, and then we went to Comoros, and then we came back to Grenada before coming home, you know. And of course, they didn't know in this place anyway, yeah, because Aisha started school in Dominica, and yeah, you know. So it was out there. I had to be doing various things like teaching her at home. In Dominica, it's a small island. Right. Even when my husband got the appointment and I went to the travel agency in Belgrade, they told me the place didn't exist. So, yes, and I had to tell him, and he told me to find a big globe also. That is a little dot in the ocean. And then they said the plane cannot go there, so they will leave us in Barbados. And my husband said, fine, there's an island hopping plane, this and there. So, yeah, so getting there, of course, and they were also very behind. I took her to I went to the hospital to find out what facilities they had. They didn't have any. And the physiotherapist, there was only one therapist on the island, and she said she's never dealt with children.
Wow.
So it's only stroke patients she's been dealing with. So that's how come I was doing the physiotherapy myself, because I took her to Miami, they assessed and everything, and the therapist was doing various things with her. So not being able to put everything in my head, I had my camera. Those days we didn't have mobile phones anyway, so I had my camera and I was taking pictures of every step of exercise she did. And when we came back to the island, I put them all on the wall and followed the trend in doing it with her. And then because of the monotony and everything of it, and once a week, I'll take her to the hospital and show the physiotherapist maybe pictures of what I've been doing, and she will be doing it with her. So that's how we lived on the island in Dominica. And in the process, I just felt like, okay. You know, when she was diagnosed as being brain damaged, I was told that it didn't affect her intelligence. That was when she was 1 year old. That the parts that it affected is the motor development and hearing and maybe sight. But we all saw she was seeing. So, but the hearing, we checked, and they said it came out that if you are doing, she won't hear you. So she needed hearing aid for that. But so I was also told in the hospital that I have to train the part of the brain that isn't damaged to do the work of the damaged part. So it was, the diagnosis was done in London, and we are in on this island where no facility is there. So we have to find ways and means of doing it.
Let me allow you to take a sip of water, and then I'll just, go through this briefly to let some of the, things to expect from the book. When you get to the content, chapter 1 is Birth of a Miracle Child. Indeed, she is a miracle child. Chapter 2, The Gift of Motherhood. Chapter 3, Life in Dominica. Chapter 4, Educating Farida. Chapter 5, Manchester, my city. I love Manchester. Chapter 6, Grenada and Return to Ghana. Chapter 7, Settling Down. Chapter 8, Farida'S Schooling and Career. Chapter 9, Perseverance and Hope. And then we have photo gallery. You should see Farida, the processes, pictures, I believe, taken by her mother most of the time, and that girl, young lady Farida, is tough cookie. She was her mother was unconventional and a fighter, and she was and is a fighter. Tough one. Please, if you want to see this one, look at her. This one, I'll tease her. I say, look at her face. You know.
She said she didn't want anything that showed her this.
Oh, she was a baby.
She was one. This was soon after she was diagnosed.
Wow, she was one. And that's you sitting there.
Yeah, that's me with the what do you call him? The man.
I like that. The man. And she was riding a bike.
Yeah, a bike. Yeah.
Wow. I'm not going to show you the pictures because I want you to get copies to read. But so you came to Ghana with the intention of settling, and you came to settle. But I believe that was also another phase, or you were just ready to face anything.
We didn't come with the intention of settling. We came on a holiday kind of thing. We were like, okay, we're coming. We wanted to live in Dominica. We had a memorable, wonderful time there, and we had made arrangements to settle there, you know. So we came to Ghana for maybe 3 months or so the children will know Ghana and relatives and all that. But then so many things led to this thing, and Aisha was like, she's never known cousins or anything before and all that. And she was so happy. And she was like, Mommy, let's not go back. Let's not go back. And I looked at her and I thought, okay, it's not that we have any affiliations as such. We were just happy there, yeah. So we decided to stay. Okay. We didn't come with our things or anything, you know, so yeah. That's how
you had to go back and bring the things.
Yeah, we had to send them. We've already packed them for shipment to this thing, so we had to, yeah.
Okay, so now let's jump the gun to educating.
Yeah.
Farida in Ghana.
Educating Farida. You know, educating Farida started from Dominica, where I was teaching her. Yeah. So we've gotten to a level, and we've come to Ghana, and I didn't know what to do. So I started her off with the home computer those days, so she knows how to. So we were living in Zoti, Latibiokoshi, and advanced computer systems was there in Zoti there. I went and looked at the place, and I thought, okay, whilst I'm deciding what to do with her, she should go there and see whether she can do the Word and Excel and DBase.
How old was she?
9.
Wow.
So
Mommy had dreams and Mommy believed in the capabilities of Farida.
Yeah, because she knew how to use the computer already. So, and those days in Kolebu, the doctors in Kolebu were also learning about, everybody was learning how to use the computer there. So they were all in the school with her. So I took her there. And then one day, I was going to pick her up. And in the corridor, I heard, if I teach you, you pay me 5 cedis. And she was the one telling somebody. And I went to her, I said, who are you going to charge 5 cedis? He said that they don't know anything. So
she said the doctor said they don't know anything.
So anyway, she did the Word and she finished. Yeah. And then we went on to Excel and then to DBase. And when she had finished all and she's gotten her certificates and things, the owner of the school called me and she said, he has a confession that when I brought her, she thought, this is somebody who wants to waste money and has brought her. She has really surprised him. And he has to confess to me. I said, okay. Well, wow. So having finished that, and she had no friends. It's just me and her in school and Aisha. Yeah. So I told the father that she really needs to have friends of her own. So they went looking for a school for her. Okay. And they found one in Collegon. We lived in Zoti, so Collegon, Cambridge. Okay. The idea was for her to have friends. But when she got in there, she got the friends. There were 2 cousins who were very, very attached to her. They were helping her to go to the loo and all those other things. And she was there for, is it a year or, yeah, she was there for a year. But then I had gone through some marital challenges and I was working and doing business. So I drop her at school, I drop Aisha at school. I'm in Tema factories collecting things to supply people in Okanshi and all that. And sometimes, you know how it is. You haven't gotten the thing, you are rushing and all. Yeah. So my family home is Kanishi. So, and I've built a shop there, and I have a girl there. So I decided that apart from the fact that the Cambridge place, the government was renting it from Cambridge Preparatory, and they were not paying their rent, so they were being evicted or something. So I took her to Awudome, which is near my shop. So at least the girl can close the shop. Yeah. And took her there to another Saito JSS. Yeah.
Hey, we have something in common. Me, I went to Comtier number 1 primary and middle school. The whole paragraph.
She went to Awudome JSS. Yeah, so I took her there, and she was there GSS 1, 2, and 3. And then we get to 3. And there, I mean, there's BEC coming. And her disability, she can't do round and other, she can't write those characters.
Right.
Yeah. So how is she going to do this exam? And that's how I ended up at Mr. D.S. Boatin, the Minister for Social Welfare. I decided one day that I have to go and see him. So I went. I didn't even have an appointment. I just went, and I told them that this is what I'm coming to see. Yeah. And he received me. He was very gracious. He received me. I told him, he listened. He called his permanent secretary. He came, they listened, and he handed me over to him. And he talked to me, and then he said, they have a place called Special Education. So I went there, I saw the director, we talked, and then he said, well, this BAEC is Exams Council. So I should go to Exams Council to see, of blessed memory, Mr. Katriku, who was Director of Administration. He was also very gracious. He listened to me and all. So having seen these 3 people and having come home, I didn't know what was happening. Then one day I went to pick her from school, and the headmistress called me that, Madam, 3 big men came here. I said, 3 big men, and what has it got to do with me? He said, oh, they came from Special Education, Social Welfare, and West African Exams Council. They wanted to see her books. So they gave exercise books or whatever to them. They all analyzed it and all, and they decided that some who are not disabled cannot even write the way she writes. But anyway, she will need time to do the exam. So they will have to give her extra time. And then they put a note on her papers so that those marking will pay extra attention to the. So that's how she got to do it.
I know as a mother and your love and commitment and everything, this was not what you expected, but you decided that this is it. So what am I going to do? I will do it.
Yeah.
I know it's been tough. I know it's been challenging. But when you sit back and you see Farida now, where she is, where she's going. I mean, first of all, let me start from when the world started. No, let's start from when Ghana started knowing of her and everybody was celebrating her. How did you feel?
When Ghana started knowing her, was it after CNN? Yeah, it was after CNN. Because before then, Ghana knew her as the child who the mother took everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that KSM, she's there. Trade fair, she's there. Everywhere, the mother. So people were telling people that there's this girl who the mother takes everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she can't walk or anything. They don't even know what is wrong with her. But in my mind, going through this, and it was like, it's a life. I'm preparing her for the, because I'm very vocal. Yeah. And I'll say, like, then the way I am, I should be able.
Like mother, like daughter. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, I'm very so calm. I tell mothers, if you feel like, somebody came to live with me and she has 4 children and the children were not doing so well. And she said, oh, but she feels like if you've done JSS, it's okay. I said, you haven't done anything. That you have to give your children tools for life. Whilst you are alive, you feel like you are doing something. The tools you are giving them to continue the life when you are not there, if you don't put it there, you are wicked. And he said, I said, you are wicked. Because this child came in the labor ward. She didn't know anybody on earth. It's you. And if you are not giving the child the tools to continue living now, then what have you achieved? You haven't achieved anything. Mm-hmm.
Where can we get this book to buy?
Anefwa. Book Nook.
Book Nook, okay.
Book Nook.
Book Nook, okay. And I'm sure very soon it will be. Is it on Amazon?
Yeah. Oh, it's on Amazon. It's on already Amazon from August.
From last year, okay. From August to 2021, okay.
There's the Kindle and everything on Amazon.
Okay, okay. And it's very easy to read, my kind of book, you know. Yes. Very easy to read.
People have told me, so one engineer was telling me she got the book and she was going to give it to her mother or somebody. Yeah. And before she knew it, and she was on page 65, and she couldn't believe it, that engineers normally don't read books. So when she finished, she called me and...
Let me read page 2. It said, it was a Friday and I delivered my baby around 2:30 p.m. A lot of water gushed out of me onto the floor, which made the midwife remark whether I wanted to kill my unborn child. She had to rush out to change whilst an orderly brought a bedpan to scoop some of the water off the floor. Eventually, baby came out. You have a baby girl, the midwife said. Instead of welcoming the news, the strangest thought popped into my mind, and what I said aloud was, oh my God, I'm alive. The midwife looked at me puzzled and asked, what's wrong with you? I've never had a mother talk like that before. Normally mothers feel elated during such moments and are usually ready to hold their babies, but here I was relieved that I had not died. This is a must-read book, and you must get a copy to read. And you understand why the world will continue to celebrate Farida and her mother and her sister. And I always see Farida. Her sister Aisha is also doing so well. Yeah, but you see Farida always pushing, oh, my sister, it's every opportunity she gets to celebrate.
Really?
Her sister, oh, yes. Every opportunity Farida gets to celebrate Aisha on social media, she will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she does it, always pushing, and it's so beautiful, you know, how they bond. Mama, you have absolutely done something right, done well.
Thank
we
you
pray
so
that,
much.
you know, some of us can also be like you. But before we end it, what have you got to say to mothers who have children, who have, challenges, and mothers who feel like giving up? And sometimes when they feel the burden is on them, because there are a lot of married women now who are single mothers. And I'm sure you know that as a counselor. I'm sure you know that. They feel that they're doing everything, and it's so daunting sometimes.
I feel like they should prioritize the child. Because when you are thinking of yourself, you won't be able to move forward. But when you look at the child and you look at the journey ahead of that child now, you feel obligated to do something for the child to stand, to be able to be on his or her own. And especially as fragile as life is now, you should just, you know, I tell people that you have a choice. You can decide not to have a child. But once you decide to have a child, it means 20 years of your life is sacrifice for that child to be able to stand on their own. You can't, there are no two ways about it. You have to persevere for your child. You have to. No matter what your situation is. You know, look, when we came and I couldn't work or anything, I was doing this business, buying and selling, doing this and doing that until I was able to build a shop and all that, you know. So even if it's, I remember growing up, my mother used to put, our house in Kaneshi was right on the main road to the market. So ice water, those days it wasn't this, it was something else. And you put it right at the entrance, and people are passing, my ice water, okay, okay, they put the money there. And we always get the 6 cedis to buy, cook for the day, you know. So you can just, you shouldn't think anything is beneath you. That's the thing. No matter what education you have, find something to do. You will be able to find something to do with your child near you. And I used to tell parents that you should, even if you have many children, you should have the me time for one child, you know. A lot, if it's 15 minutes on Tuesday, let's say you don't have time at all, 15 minutes. That 15 minutes, you are concentrating solely on that child. The others will have their day too. And every child feels special. It's grounding the child, because self-esteem is a problem for marriages. Go into marriage and you find one person has a self-esteem. Although superficially he or she is supporting the other thing, in there it's not there. Yeah. So build your child to have that firm base. Nanefa has firm base from the beginning, despite disability. Yeah. She didn't even realize disability. When she was interviewed by a child psychologist in Britain, she said, Mommy, let's us do everything together. It's only when Aisha is running with her friends, I can't run, you know. So nothing was taken out from her, you know. Try to concentrate. Once you have a child, shift your me to your child and do the best you can do for the child.
And you have just done that so well, and we are proud of you. And I'm privileged to have the opportunity to talk to you and also learn from you, you know, because you've answered so many questions going through my mind, even without me asking you, by you sharing it. Okay. You know, I just have that inner peace.
Amen.
That it is worth sacrificing.
It's worth
spending, because, you know, I think I've even written about it in the past, that sometimes you feel like my life has come to a standstill because of my little girl. Because now she closes at 2 and my work has ended.
Everything revolves around her. I mean, I'm known for not being attending meetings to the end. And this is my grandchild. Everywhere, every meeting I'm attending, 1 o'clock, I'm leaving. And so my year group people, they always say, you never stay. I said, because I have to make it. And she, at 17, is telling me, Grandma, you did everything for me. I never felt that I didn't have a father, because her father died when she was 1. So I never felt that. You have to sacrifice. If you are not ready to sacrifice, don't have a child. It's a choice. You shouldn't have it just because everybody is having it, because they have a life to live, and they need the tools. I'm always saying they need the tools to be able to live this life, navigate the journey ahead of them. It's difficult already as it is, and if you don't provide those tools, who are you expecting to do it? It's the friends, and it will be the wrong tools. But when it's coming from home, you know solidly this is what it is.
The Unconventional Mother, How I Nurtured My Daughter with Disability into a Global Leader. Book Nook, you can get it, and also you can get it on Amazon, and hopefully I'm sure to go to other bookshops, but wherever you go to, whatever challenge books or wherever it is, just try and look around for it. This is it. Don't forget, and it's a must read for everybody. Very easy to read, the writing and everything, very easy to read. And it's a must-have for everyone. I would say even every child that can read needs to read this to build self-confidence.
Yes.
To build self-confidence.
Yeah. Very, very important.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for coming to share with us.
Thank you, Stu, for having me.
Sure, we'll have you again sometime very soon. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with a bit of me. You know, as Ghanaians or Africans, actually people of African descent, wherever you find yourself, you grow up understanding that whether you are deliberately taught or told, but you grow up knowing that as a woman, you will have to become a mother. You get to a point where you will have children, you will marry, you raise children and all that. But motherhood is serious business. Trust me, motherhood is not easy. I know, and for people like me who did everything that I can to have a child, I desperately wanted a child. And there are people out there who desperately want children, and they're doing everything they can to have children. And I pray that they do have children of their own. But what nobody prepared me for, even at the age of 47, is that motherhood is tough. Motherhood gives you what it wants to give you. It brings you a child that it wants to give you. And you have to work with that child. Yes, there's nothing like a perfect child anywhere. But there are children with special needs, with special challenges, that as a mother, you will have to sacrifice. You will have to go to all length and breadth of this world to make sure you make life comfortable for that child. Because that child didn't beg you to come into this world. You brought that child into this world. There's no way Farida'S story will be told anywhere in this world without her mother being mentioned. There's no way I would tell my story anywhere without my father being mentioned. It pays off in the long run. It is painful. You go through that brokenness period, but in the end, it becomes beautiful. Remember, you may be broken, but you know what? You are beautiful. Dear mother, you chose motherhood. Maybe motherhood chose you. Maybe you didn't plan it. It happened, but it's here. That child is here. What are you going to do about it? I believe God is real. I believe God knows all things. I believe God prepared and planned everything for that child. But God gave you that child for a reason. And He's equipped you to do the right thing. He's all-knowing. He's all-powerful. I'm a woman with super crazy faith in God. Trust me. But I know God has given us wisdom. So even as I pray, Lord, help me to know how to handle this child you have given me. That's one child that is like 1,000 children. I know He's giving me wisdom. And I need to use it by reading, by learning, by asking questions. Don't throw your hands in the air. Dear mother, it is well. You can do it. That child is counting on you. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.